Daybreak continues at 23 minutes before the hour and 57 degrees in downtown Sylacauga. Matt Hubbard, who was a leading vote getter in the mayoral race here in Sylacauga yesterday, joined us. And I don't know how many times that Matt and I have been at this set through the campaign, but we do it again this morning. Congratulations.
Thank you, Jimmy Dale. Appreciate it. Appreciate being here.
Almost 1,000 votes.
Yeah.
That's great, but you're in a runoff.
That's right. And that was the goal all along, was to reach that runoff and, and extend that campaign for 4 weeks. Now it would always be great, to win outright, but with 4 people running plus an incumbent, you just know the percentages, the odds are going to say that's a runoff situation right there. And it is a runoff situation. So we're just grateful to be in that position.
It was a gorgeous day yesterday at the polls, and disappointed that not more people voted than did, but appreciative of the people who went to the polls.
Absolutely. I couldn't say it any better. With the excitement, I reckon as you go around knocking on doors and speaking with people, it may be a false hope or a false excitement that you generate as a candidate, because I was really, really hoping for, that minimum vote to be 2,500 and maybe even push to 3,000, especially when you saw the weather forecast and everything. So, but that 2,300 number seems to be the norm for these municipal elections in Sylacauga. So, it's disappointing that we didn't, set a new standard, but we didn't drop off either. I reckon just remaining consistent and steady with that voter turnout. And, as candidates, that's on us. We've just got to do a better job of getting our people out there and getting, the Sylacauga family to understand the importance of voting and the impact that it has, on their day-to-day life.
What was your feeling as the polls closed last night at 7 o'clock? It'd been a long day. You'd shaken a lot of hands and talked to a lot of people, but it was a long day.
Right. It's just that the unknown, and just waiting for it to be posted there in black and white.
I guess all kind of things run through your mind.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. You've got a lot of things going on, and I reckon the biggest thing is you just don't want to let your supporters down. You don't want to disappoint them, and that's going through the back of your mind. And then, Ken read those results and everything, and okay, so there's validation at that point in time. And so, and the way my mind works, it's immediately going to strategy for runoff. I'm sitting there and shaking hands and hugging folks, and my brother and I are getting back in the truck. And my mind...
Was he the one that was holding the sign up all day? Yeah. Lord have mercy.
Drew. Look, I tell people, everyone in Sylacauga and Talladega County knows Nate Brewer. Well, Drew Hubbard, my brother, is Etowah County's version of Nate Brewer.
Okay.
He's just an older version of Nate, and those two get along really well. So it's Drew, if he had to come and stand on that corner again today for 12 hours, he would have done it. He's that type, just gives you the shirt off his back, and that's what I tell people. People wonder why I'm so quiet and reserved and kind of, just sit back. It's because Drew's always been the one doing the talking and the outgoing and the energy and all that. But yes, that was my brother, Drew.
So when it was announced that you were the leading vote getter with 999 votes and Taunton with 845 votes, you had 44% of the total, and Bryan with 37% of the total vote. What was the first thoughts that went through your mind when your name was called as a leader in that race?
Well, like I said earlier, it's just validation, that all the hard work, the lab work that you've done and the conversations that you've had standing on people's front porches and in their doorways, that it means something, that it was for something. It wasn't in vain or anything. And you immediately know that you still have work to do. There's still chicken on that bone, so to speak. So it's like I said, I reckon I've learned this through playing ball, being a leader, captains on ball teams, and then as a coach and administrator, if you're task oriented, I'm a task oriented individual. So this task has ended. Now this is the new task. So my mind is already jumping to the strategies for that new task, which is the runoff.
I know you want to speak of Mayor Heigl, a veteran who served 2 full terms, military veteran who loves this country and loves Sylacauga.
Absolutely, and I've said this before on your show, and Mayor Heigl, he knows this. He and I have had some conversation. We actually spoke last night when I got home, and he knows that I admire and respect him. He knows that I think of his entirety of his life. He has served his nation. He has served his community, and as someone at age 55. I admire that. I had a grandfather who was a Marine who received a Purple Heart. So I have that appreciation of our military and those who have served. And then just to see, Mayor Heigl, you look at his accomplishments and everything. So that's just something, I want our Sylacauga community to know this. And I've told this with Mayor Heigl and some of his supporters. If I'm elected mayor, we are going to honor and recognize Mayor Heigl for his accomplishments and his service to our great city, because he's been a part of a lot of great things in this community. And he is, and Mayor, if you're watching, you are a beloved individual in this community. Every door we knocked on and people we talked to, they love you. And it was just, they just felt like it was just time for change. So, I'll say it again. If I'm fortunate enough to be mayor, that will be something that will be a priority, is to honor and recognize Mayor Heigl.
And Jada Thomas Combs, outstanding lady who worked hard. She was here last night, smile on her face. Yeah. She said, "Hey, let's pull together for our city."
That's it, And I after I've gotten to know Jada, more through this process, and I would not expect anything less from Jada to say. I mean, she is all about our people in Sylacauga, and she is all about our community. So she has a lot of great leadership attributes, and I think she is more than willing to share those with our community in a particular role and position in our community. So I've got a lot of respect for Jada, and I look forward to continue getting to know her.
Yeah, we got some video of yesterday at the polls, and who is this guy right here?
That's Drew. And that funny story, Tiffany Nix in District 2, she saw Drew out on the corner there, and she's never met my brother Drew before. So
she didn't think he was homeless, did she?
No, she came up and she said, Coach Hubbard done put filler in his hair and grown a mustache. So she thought that was me, but we got a kick out of that. We thought that was funny, but yeah, that's my brother Drew right there.
So were the numbers in from last night? You continue beginning today. It's a short window till September.
That's right. And that's what I put out on Facebook last night. It's the message I'm going to share with our supporters, is that we have 4 weeks for 4 years. I said that at our launch party, but at our launch party, it was 4 months for 4 years. So we've made it to the runoff. Now we have 4 weeks for the next 4 years of leadership in our great city. So, and I'd like to make an appeal to Mayor Heigl's supporters and to Jada's supporters. We would love to have you on Team Hubbard, and and ask for your support as well.
So beginning today, I guess you'll be knocking on more doors, or will you take a day off?
Well, actually today, Jimmy Dale, I'm gonna leave in a couple of hours, and I'm gonna go to Grandview and be with Joey.
Okay, yeah, okay. His surgery's today? Okay, yeah. And that was a touching moment, and that's a touching moment for you as well.
Yeah.
When you think of Sylacauga and you saw the incident unfold Friday night, it makes you feel so good about Sylacauga, Alabama.
Look, absolutely. And I had the good fortune of seeing Lou Murphy and his wife Nina leaving the polls yesterday. So I got to share that love with him and with Nina, And, you know, that meant the world to me as well, you know, because
Yeah.
that's a God thing.
Yeah.
And Lou is more than well aware that was God working through him and a lot of other people to save Joey that night.
You know, that night, there were people in the stands that didn't necessarily know a whole lot about God, but they knew something special was going on.
That's right. And, you know, that's amazing. That's the first thing our youngest son, Hayden, said when he came home. He said, Daddy, he said, you could have heard a pin drop. And he said it was almost immediately, he said the whole stadium just broke out in prayer.
Yeah.
He said the whole student section.
Wow.
He said even the visitors. He said it was just quiet. And you could just hear people praying. So you see God at work in our community like that. And, you know, at my age, at age 55, you know, us older folks, that's what it's all about, is seeing these young people and fulfilling that great commission.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, there's going to be new faces at City Halls in several positions, and it's going to be another step forward.
Yeah, I want to congratulate Greer and Nate and Laura on their outright wins, you know. So we've got 3 runoffs. You've got the mayor's race, District 2 and District 4 runoff. So congratulations to those 3 on those victories last night.
So what are you going to be telling people in the coming weeks?
Well, we're going to stick on our message, you know, resolving personnel litigation issues at City Hall and putting that public money to better use. And then, you know, just resolving flood mitigation in our neighborhoods and downtown, and then creating those ordinances that we need in place for animal control, like registration, spay and neuter, and microchipping. And then the animal shelter itself, getting it renovated, getting it up to where it needs to be, that, you know, just a higher standard of a facility out there with the animal shelter. And then just the vision part of my message, I want to renew downtown. We've got some efforts with our roadways and beautification and get those things out. So we're going to stay on point with our message. We're going to get out and knock on doors. We're going to keep with our social media presence as well and keep getting that message out. And I'm going to appeal to Mayor Heigl supporters and to Jada supporters. It's a great opportunity, you know, to join Team Hubbard and let's move this thing forward together.
And you want to congratulate, I'm sure, Bryan Taunton for
Absolutely,
a hard run race.
Running a great campaign, you know, and Bryan is a familiar individual, you know, here in town, and he's run before, so he knows this whole campaign process and everything. So yeah, running a great race, and just look forward to the next 4 weeks.
All right, appreciate you coming by this morning, Matt Hubbard. The leading vote getter in the mayoral race here in Sylacauga. The runoff is September the 23rd. We had 2,307 votes total yesterday, and Mayor Hubbard, candidate for Mayor Hubbard, is leading vote getter with 999 votes. Bryan, Matt, be safe today, and we'll be praying for our friend in Birmingham.
Amen. Thank you.
We'll be back with more right after this.